these interventions. So, my lord, I want to first establish that we have a fundamental right, my lord, to get married, have it recognized by the state, and have it registered like our brethren in the heterosexual majority group in society. If, my lord, we are right, then, my lord, certain rights flow from that status of marriage. Some of it was being explained, my lord, like pensions, like, my lord, there are some income tax provisions, gifts, many other things apart from status in society. That is most important. But I was amazed to hear the other side saying, my lord, that we are not equal. I heard this submission, that we are not equal to the brethren of the heterosexual group. It's an astounding statement coming, my lord, from a state. The constitution does not make two classes of citizens, my lord. It makes only one class, people of India. Let us start, my lord. I am amazed to say that we are not equal, as if we must continue to be treated as those, my lord, who are tainted or stigmatized. That is the mindset today. That mindset continues. And therefore, it is important for this court to step in. Because, my lord, it has removed one obstacle of 377. But after that, where? That stigmatization continues. And this, my lord, is reflective of the stand being taken by no less than a state, that where is your equality? Where are you equal? My lord, let us first start very briefly to have a look and remind ourselves on the preamble of this constitution. My friend said, how are you equal? We became equal in 1950. Have a look at the preamble. And then, my lord, I will shortly show the discussion on the preamble in Puttu in the opinion of his Lordship, my lord, Justice Chandrachud. But first, I will show to you, Lordship, my lord, the preamble. And the Lordships know, my lord, preamble was held to be a part of the constitution in Keshavan Bharati. It is intrinsic to the understanding of the ethos and the philosophy of the constitution. And, my lord, all these articles 14, 19, 15, 21 really flow, my lord, or are adjuncts of this preamble. Kindly see, my lord.
Fundamentals are mentioned here.
We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialistic, secular, democratic republic. We are more concerned with secular in the context in which we are placed, my lord. To secure to all citizens justice, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. See the articles, my lord, which will be involved in this. Liberty of thought and expression, Article 19, Article 21 also, because the right to have dignity to live a full life. Faith and worship, religion, secular, pluralistic. It will go to Article 25, 29. Equality of status and opportunity. The implementing provision will be 14, 15, and 16, which are, my lord, a triangle. Not the golden triangle, but a triangle between themselves. 14, 15, and 16. And then to promote among them all fraternity. So justice, liberty, equality will allow, my lord, promotion of fraternity. Fraternity, my lord, is brotherhood, community interest, assuring, these words are prophetic now, assuring the dignity of the individual. Now, my lord, this dignity sits in Article 21 in terms of Puttu. Dignity, an adjunct of privacy, it sits in Article 21. And the unity and integrity of the nation. This is very important. So it is not, my lord, only dealing with these individual rights. It says that justice, liberty, equality will promote fraternity. What will it do? It will assure the dignity of the people of India or the citizens of India, give them the full panoply of rights under Article 21 and 14, 19, etc. And the unity and integrity. My lord, unity and integrity is a far higher concept than mere individuals. So it will coalesce, my lord. You
Actually,
will have.
Mr. Dradgi, there are two words in the preamble which have not been dealt with too often, which is and to secure to all of its citizens.
Yes, yes.
The first part says to secure to all its citizens.
Correct. I'm grateful.
Secure means to enable them to have the protection of or enjoyment
Yes,
of these
yes,
values.
yes.
So
Affirmatively.
Right, affirmative.
Not affirmatively.
And that is individual.
Yes.
Now the latter part says and to promote among them all. That's very important.
All, my lord.
So it goes beyond the individual.
Yes,
So
all means the entire society, which consists, my lord, of citizens having different views, different hues, different color, different religion, but we will treat them under one umbrella. They will form, my lord, and forge the unity of this nation. Why was unity important? Because we had just come after a partition. So it will forge, my lord, all people together as one unit, but having dissimilarities. And the pluralistic or secular society accepts and understands diversity, plurality, multilingual, multi-faith, multi-religion, multicultural. That was the concept, not.
So justice to each of us, liberty to each of us, equality to each of us, and fraternity among us.
I am grateful. I am very grateful.
The important
So, my lord, individual, community,
Rodgi,
citizens, and the nation. This is the sweep. Sorry. I am so very sorry.
important expression here, which connects at the lowest level to the unity of the country, is the individual.
Yes.
The individual to the nation.
Correct. I am very grateful.
In the context of dignity is connected to individual.
Yes.
And unity is
How
connected.
will you have unity?
Citizens alone.
Yeah.
Individual is a very
Nothing on marriage. The artificial intelligence has changed Mr. Rodgi into Dr. Singhvi. Your arguments are recorded as Dr. Singhvi's arguments.
Oh, please
Be
correct it.
cleaned up by the evening. By the,
Please have it corrected.
No, you get more memos.
I may get more briefs if it is my argument, not somebody else's.
I don't think either of you need too many more briefs.
I said in a lighter vein. Your Lordship is right, not. We start from the individual, community, forge the integrity of a nation. How can you do it when you say that these individuals are not equal? We are born with this. I'm pained to read, which is touted in the paper every day, that this is an elitist concept. This is what the affidavit of the application says. Every newspaper carries it, Lord. That this urban elitist concept. When I was doing some research, I found that Nero, the Roman emperor, in AD 54 or 58, he married twice, two men at that time. And he told the imperial court, please recognize this marriage. My Lord Justice Chandrachud referred to the origin of Lord Ayappa. I found it very interesting. I read it. How was Lord Ayappa born? My Lord, a union of two gods, Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu, but Lord Vishnu in the role of Mohini. I mean, it's very, very interesting, my Lord. Therefore, nothing is absolute. The solicitor talked about, my Lord, the transgenders. Transgenders is only T out of LGBT. It's only T. LGBT is not considered, my Lord, with the transgenders. So therefore, my Lord, these concepts change. I also heard him say, whether the court decides, whether parliament decides, doesn't matter. It's the society which decides, something like that. My Lord, take the Hindu Widows' Right to Remarriage Act, 1860 something. The society was not ready, my Lord, for widows' remarriage till even early 90s. You have those widows' houses, my Lord, in Mathura.
before 1956, bigamy was not.
My Lord, my Lord. But, my Lord, the Dominion Parliament in the 1800s moved far ahead of the society and allowed, my lord, the Hindu widows to remarry. But sometimes the mindset still don't change. It didn't change, my lord, even till early 1900s, even till 1920, 30s, and you have those homes, my lord, in Mathura. So sometimes, my lord, Parliament or the Legislative Assembly acts more with more alacrity. Sometimes it acts, my lord, with less alacrity. But here, we have moved on. We have moved on. Your Lordship's declaration to remove, my lord, the obstacle in our way from achieving all this was only one. That is, insofar as the state is concerned, was 377. The second is the mindset. And all this which is argued is actually reflective of that mindset. Heterosexual majority is the only one. That's the only way life is. That's the only way it should be. That's the only way it should be seen. And that is the only way, my lord, marriage must be seen. That, my lord, with great respect. Your lordships have said that the majoritarian way must give way to the constitutional freedoms. Can't be that what majority is doing is correct and therefore you squash the rights of the others. All this is, my lord, a part of the judgment which I quickly showed to your lordship. I am not adding anything, my lord, except this, some research I had done, my lord, for all this. But otherwise, this is all, my lord, documented.
Society today.
No, my lord, my friend is right. See, my lord, the Chief Justice referred to this fact. Navtej came, my lord, 5 years ago. In 5 years, we have seen a perceptible difference as to how people view, my lord, people of our community, if you call it that way. Not fully. Some stigma is still there, as I said, in public spaces, etc. That stigma can only be removed by a declaration of the court, just as we had a declaration in Navtej. We not see one more thing. It's not only our rights. Look at the rights of our parents. I don't know if your lordship read or not. I read an article.
By Mr. Vivek Arju. I was
Yes.
going to say that, yes.
I read the article by him.
In the Indian Express.
Yes, I'll pass it on to your lordship if it is not there. I read an article. So rights of others are also involved. Rights of parents, how to treat their children, how to treat them in their society, that is the elder society, in their fraternity. People ask me, Lord, what do your children do? Where are they? Etc. etc. So the rights of others, that is, my lord, one below and one above. Children and the parents. So rights of many, my lord, are under interplay when you are deciding, my lord, the rights of these people. That's how, my lord, it carries on. Now, my lord, we go straight to judgments. I've read the preamble. Now, no, I'll go to that. Now, my lord, your lordship may note one or two things I will not read because they are well known. And then we will go straight, my lord, to Nalsa, which is the first of this lot. But just make a note, my lord. Secularism was held to be a part of the basic structure in Bombay. My lord, we note the page. I don't want to read it, my lord. It's well known. Secularism was held to be a part of the basic structure in Bombay. 1994 3 SCC, page 1, paras 145 and 153. Then, my lord, it was also held to be such in Coelho, which is 9 judges, Justice Abarwal speaking for the court, 2007 2 SCC, page 1, paras 106 and 109. And just as an aside, my lord, those of who were in this court at that time, Justice Abarwal said, my lord, we will start the case on Monday at 10:30 and end it on Friday at 4:30 or 4 o'clock. This 9 judges case. And it was actually so finished. No miscellaneous, my lord, would, some of us who were here would remember, my lord. This is how it happened. Anyway. Then, my lord, please note, para 1 of TMA Pi, which is, my lord, 11 judges, if I am not mistaken. Chief Justice Kirpal, 2002, volume 8, SCC 481, para 1, only the first line that India is a land of diversity.
Where he
So-
uses the expression mosaic.
Yes. Grateful. Diversity, plurality, secularism, all this means that people who are constituting, Lord, the unity of their nation must move together. They must move together. They are not unequal. That's why
Back to
do away with.
Justice Das
Sorry.
in Kerala Education Bill.
Yes.
That too is the first paragraph.
Right. 56
58.
to 58. So now, my lord, we go straight to Nalsa. So I have to now read passages of 4 or 5 judgments.
And we have followed this principle in Ayodhya as well.
Yes.
In
Yes.
fact, Ayodhya, we said that the 1993 Act was an
Yes,
expression
Lord.
of the
Yes.
basic structure.
But, my lord, I wanted to concentrate on this line. Rather, so Nalsa, Puttuswamy, Navtej, Shafin, Deepika. That's, my lord, the line which I wish to take. It's all, my lord, said by lordship. So we go straight to Nalsa, my lord. It's a part of the compilation, my lord, which is on the lordship's mail. Is it on the mail?
Yes, it's with them. Volume 1. It's with them. Volume 1.
Page 711 of volume 1.
Your note, your
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
Page?
My lord, it is page 711 of volume 1 of the compilation.
42 PDF. It starts at 7:38.
When you put the document volume 1 there.
Chief's words.
What's the meaning?
कहाँ है president words?
Yesterday evening, on this.
Oh, the law clerks will assist me.
Nalsa.
No, I said,
I have a vested interest in ensuring that justice call also is on the
I
electronic
know.
format.
Since there is a small interlude, I must thank all my learned
Yeah.
friends who worked very hard to put
Yeah, I very
Yeah.
often use the stylus.
almost 20 or perhaps 25,000 pages. And due to my error, they had to do it twice. So they have, I must thank them for the effort they've put in to get these compilations.
Again. I can blame it on the laptop.
Well,
You
We are
can give
finding
it
it
to
out.
me so time doesn't rely. In the meantime, they'll find out.
solicitor, you can give till they find it. You can give.
or you can use.
Nice guy.
Lordship is saying you give till they find it on that.
Got it.
Page 742. no?
Volume
Page 742 and of the PDF pages.
7.
ये नोट में
You punch in 742 for
इसी में
Not 742.
742.
That's ऊपर करना है ना.
Yes, 738.
yeah correct.
Chief Justice wants to make sure I am doing it by the time I demit office.
Oh, my learned brother has been a real sport, He's yesterday he spent the whole evening on this.
On the lighter side, I was telling him the only thing in this is that you don't have the pleasure of throwing the file down.
We'll have to go to the volume. Miss
What I
Katia,
call-
which volume is this?
My lord, I was wanting to read 738, para 21.
This would be volume 2.
Sorry.
Volume 2.
Volume 1
No, my lord.
Volume 1
of the
contains
precedents.
precedent.
Just number 6.
Because it runs into some 20 whatever thousand Pages, right?
And what is the para number?
Milord, para 21, the heading is gender identity and sexual orientation.
Got it.
Your Lordship. Milord, page 465 of the report.
21.
Justice Bhatt gets it. Milord.
Yes, yes. Please go on. Sorry.
I'll start. Gender identity is one of the most fundamental aspects of life, which refer to a person's intrinsic sense of being male, female, or transgender or transsexual. This case was concerned not with transgenders or transsexual. A person's sex is usually assigned at birth, but a relatively small group of people may be born with bodies which incorporate both or certain aspects of both male and female. Then, my lord, it goes on. Your Lordship sees the last line of that para. Gender identity therefore refers to an individual's self-identification as a man, woman, transgender, or any other identified category. Sexual orientation refers to individuals enduring physical, romantic, emotional attraction to another person. Sexual orientation includes transgender and gender variant with heavy sexual orientation, and their sexual may or may not change during or after gender transmission, which also includes homosexuals, bisexuals, heterosexuals, asexuals. Gender identity and sexual orientation, as already indicated, are different concepts. Each person self-defined is sexual orientation and gender identity integral to their personality and is one of the most basic aspects of self-determination, dignity, freedom, and no one will be forced to undergo a medical procedure, etc., etc., etc. So the importance is beyond each person's self-defined sexual orientation, gender identity is integral to their personality, one of the most basic aspects of self-determination, dignity, and freedom. This is now translated in Puttu Swami, my lord, as a part of Article 21. This itself. Then your lordship sees,
Page 760,
my lord, page 760.
487 of the.
Page?
Page 760, my lord, of the compilation, 487 of the report,
760, yes.
para 61.
Yes.
This is in Article 14. If your lordship sees last 4 lines of para 61, 61 does not restrict the word person and application only to male or females. Hijras, transgenders, who are neither male, female, fall within the expression person and hence entitled to legal protection of laws in all spheres of activity, including employment, healthcare, education, as equal, etc., etc. Would your lordship just see the first part also? Yes, I should have read. Article 14 states that state shall not deny to any person equality before the law or equal protection. Equality includes full and equal enjoyment of all rights and freedoms. Right to equality has been declared as a basic feature of the Constitution, and treatment of equals as unequals and equals as unequal will be violated. So equality in the preamble, equality as reflected in Article 14 is also, my lord, a basic structure, just like secularism, just like judicial review, just like rule of law, and some other aspects. My lord, last line of that page, discrimination on the ground of sexual orientation or gender identity therefore impairs equality before law and equal protection of laws and violates 14. Your lordship turns to the next page. Para 63. Article 15 and 16 prohibit discrimination against any citizen on certain enumerated grounds, including ground of sex. In fact, both articles prohibit all forms of gender bias and gender-based discrimination. 15 states, state will not discriminate against any citizen on the ground of sex, etc. Then come to 66, my lord. 15 and 16 sought to prohibit discrimination on the basis of sex, recognizing that sex determination is a historical fact and needs to be addressed. Constitution makers can be gathered, gave emphasis to fundamental rights against sex discrimination so as to prevent the direct or indirect attitude. This is important. So as to treat the direct or indirect attitude to treat people differently for the reason of not being in conformity with the stereotypical generalization of binary genders. Both gender and biological attributes constitute distinct components of sex. Biological characters, of course, include genitals, chromosomes, secondary sexual features, but gender attributes include one's self-image, deep psychological or emotional sense of sexual identity and character, the discrimination on the ground of sex under 1516 therefore includes discrimination on the ground of gender identity. The expression sex is not limited to a biological sex of male or female, but intended to include people who consider themselves to be neither male nor female. This then found its way, my lord, in Anuj Garg, that, my lord, employees of a hotel, whether you could, this find, my lord, mentioned in Anuj Garg. No, but the same thing is in Anuj Garg. Same thing is in Anuj Garg. Though Anuj Garg was earlier. Justice Sinha speaking for the court. Same thing is in Anuj Garg. And what your lordships have, my lord, discounted is the view of Nargesh Mirza. My lord, next page. Second line. State is bound to take some affirmative action for their advancement so that injustice done to them for centuries could be remedied, etc. Then, my lord, 19(1)(a), para 69, just above placetum E. Article 19(1)(a) states that all citizens will have the right to freedom of speech expression, which includes one's right
69.
to expression of his self-identified gender. The self-identified gender can be expressed through dress, words, actions, or behaviors. So expression is not limited to, my lord, speaking, speech, or reading. The self through dress, words, actions, no restriction can be placed on one's personal appearance or choice of dressing, subject to restrictions contained in 19(2). My lord, the next page, 763, page 490 of the report, para 71. The principles referred to above clearly indicate that freedom of expression guaranteed in 19(1)(a) includes freedom to express one's chosen gender identity through varied ways and means by way of expression, speech, mannerism, clothing. Gender identity, therefore, this is important, lies at the core of one's personal identity. Gender expression and presentation, therefore, will have to be protected. Under 19(1)(a), a transgender personality could be expressed by his behavior and presentation. The state cannot prohibit, restrict, or interfere with the transgender's expression, etc., etc. Then, my lord, para 73, Article 21. After the quotation, Article 21 is the heart and soul. The Constitution which speaks of the right to life and liberty. Right to life is the most fundamental, not even the state has the authority to violate. Article 21 takes care of aspects of life which go to make life meaningful, protects the dignity of human life, one's personal autonomy, one's right of privacy. These are prophetic words which ultimately came, my lord, in Puttaswamy. Right to dignity is recognized as an essential part of the right to life and accrues. Francis Corali Mullin, this court held the right to dignity forms an essential part, and, my lord, is not only mere existence, that your lordship said. That then 74. Recognition of one's gender identity lies at the heart of fundamental right to dignity. Again, now Article 21. Gender is already indicated constitutes the core of one's self-being as well as an integral part of an identity. Legal recognition of the gender is therefore a part of the right to dignity and freedom. Again, my lord, re-emphasizing Article 21. And then 21, my lord, his lordships talk about Anuj Garg, etc. My lord, para 82 on the next page is the same, but I don't wish to read it. Read that. That's it. Now we go to Puttaswamy. Puttaswamy, my lord, in the same volume,
Page 63.
at page, starts at page 63 of the compilation. Your lordship sees, my lord, the opinion of his lordship Justice Chandrachud, as his lordship then was, at page 407 of the compilation, 345 of the report. Your lordship will find, if your lordships get that, if all my lords have it, my lord.
Yes.
Just 1 second.
My lord, 407 of the compilation, 345 of the report.
What para is it?
My lords get it.
What para is it, I said?
My lord, it starts at 407, page 345 of the report.
Page starts at page.
I want to go straight to the expounding of the preamble at 464 of the compilation and 402 of the report.
Yes.
Para is 105. Para 105, 106 is Sajjan Singh. Now see 107. Keshav Nanda, Sikri CJ noticed that the preamble is a part of the constitution because there was a debate on this. Is it a part? Is it a preface? Etc. etc. The preamble emphasizes the need to secure to all citizens justice, liberty, equality, fraternity. Together they constitute the founding faith or the blueprint of values embodied with a sense of permanence in the constitutional document. Preamble speaks of securing liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, worship. Fraternity to be promoted to assure the dignity of the individual. Individual is at the core of the focus ideals of justice, liberty, equality. Animate the vision of securing a dignified existence. So, my lord, actually, if you read the preamble and these 2-3 paragraphs, Article 14, 15, 16, 19 and 21 all will form, my lord, all will form a part of one whole.
Four 498.
So, Lordship said, my lord, referred to the preamble. And as I said, my lord, in the opening, all the phrases in the preamble are significant because they appear in their avatars as 14, 15, 16, 19 and 21. That's the importance. Equality, justice, fraternity, liberty of thought, expression, all these forms, my lord, is in 14, 15, 16, 19 and 21. Now, my lord, your lordship talk about jurisprudence on dignity in para 108. 108. This is on dignity and the importance of dignity. Third line, the constitutional vision seeks the realization of justice, liberty of so and so, equality as a guarantee against arbitrary treatment, and fraternity, which is, my lord, dignity. Then para 110, Francis Corali Mullen, where your lordship said mere existence is not life. That, my lord, is reflected in paras 7 and 8 of Francis on the next page. Bandhua Mukti Morcha, to the same effect. What is life? What is dignity? Then, my lord, para 119 at 468. To live is to live with dignity. This is very important. Dignity and life must coexist. One without the other is no good. The draftsmen of the Constitution define their vision in society, which constitutional values will be attained by emphasizing, amongst other freedoms, liberty and dignity. So fundamental is dignity that it permeates the core of the rights guaranteed to the individual. Part 3. Dignity is the core which unites the fundamental rights because the fundamental rights seek to achieve for every individual dignity of existence, privacy with the attendant values, assuring dignity and due. Only then life can be enjoyed with dignity, can liberty be of true substance. So if you don't have full enjoyment of life, you will not have, my lord, full dignity. Yes. Then, my lord, paragraph 144, it's marked here, at page 483 of the report.
42 on.
This is very important, my lord, for the majoritarian group within the society and the minority group. Para 144 is critical, my lord, for my purposes. Neither of the above reasons also. That a minuscule fraction of the country's population constitutes LGBT, as observed, is not a sustainable basis to deny the right to privacy. The purpose of elevating certain rights to the stature of guaranteed fundamental rights is to insulate their exercise from the disdain of the majorities. This is what is happening to us. We are facing this disdain. We are facing this stigma. Whether legislative or popular, the guarantee of constitutional rights does not depend on their exercise being favorable regarded by majoritarian opinion. The test of popular acceptance does not furnish a valid basis to disregard rights which are conferred with the sanctity of constitutional protection. Discrete and insular minorities face grave dangers of discrimination for the simple reason that their views, beliefs, or way of life does not accord to the mainstream. I respectfully submit, Milan, this is the core of my argument. Because we are minuscule, because we have faced this over the years, because we have been sidetracked, because we are looked at with disdain, because we are looked at with, my lord, unpopular feelings, because we are looked as squares. That's why the word queer. You are different, you are queer. And you were subjected to 377. You are no good. You are no good. That's how it was. That no good, my lord, is removed substantially by 377. But what about the stigma in place? As my lord Menka said, what about the stigma which is going on? In workplace, here, there, pension, we are facing that stigma. That can only be removed by a constitutional declaration by the highest court of the land. That my rights are equal to those of the others. They have a right of marriage, unit of family, respectability, plus a concomitant of rights which flow from that respectability. The same thing should accord to me. And I should not be discriminated only because, my lord, we may be 10,000 and the others may be 10 crores. This is the core, my lord, of my submission. Then, my lord, next page. Last line, my lord, of that page. I have to read this paragraph. Yet in a democratic constitution founded on the rule of law, their rights are as sacred as those conferred on other citizens to protect their freedoms and liberties. Pausing here, my lord, it is argued on the other side. We are not equal. As if we are back in the 30s or 20s or 1800s. That you are lesser mortals. So don't talk about rights. Don't talk about marriage. Live the way you are. Be happy that 377 is gone and be done with it. That, my lord, is the approach of the majority which is being reflected by the other side. Sexual orientation is an essential attribute of privacy. Discrimination against an individual on the basis of sexual orientation is deeply offensive to the dignity and self-worth of the individual. Equality demands that sexual orientation of each individual society must be protected on an even platform. Very important, the phrase is even platform, not an uneven platform of equals and unequals. The right to privacy and protection of sexual orientation lies at the core of fundamental rights of 14, 15, and 21. There can be no doubt now, my lord, that my rights, which will ultimately now, this will be followed by Navtej. So reading this and Navtej will make it clear that the rights of all, including my clients, in full exercise and enjoyment of their rights in 14, 15, 16, 19, and 21 must be the same as that of the others. And therefore, the next logical step after removing 377 is the cherished object of marriage, family, and a unit in the society's order. And that, my lord, will give us other rights which we are talking about, whether larger issues, smaller issues, but those, my lord, will give us. But it gives us respectability. It's not only a case of, all right, no 377, but you live the way you want. Live the way you want in your house. Don't come outside. Because if you come outside, the majority will look at you with disdain. That has to be removed, my lord. And when your lordships do it, it has the same effect of law as Parliament by virtue of Article 141. And it is no answer ever to tell, my lord, a constitutional court, which is the guarantor of fundamental rights. My lord, last 70 years it has been said that this court is the guarantor of fundamental rights. It is no answer to say that even if one man comes and complains of his violation, my lord, of fundamental rights or an enforcement of fundamental rights, you better wait for Parliament. No answer. No court this court has never accepted that answer. 32 is itself a fundamental right. I have a right to come to the court and complain. My fundamental right is being violated, not followed, not being implemented. And this court must come to my aid. Need not be a group. Maybe the whole, my lord, the population may be against me, but I have that right. And I cannot be told, with great respect, I submit, my lord, in humility, that I must wait for Parliament. Somebody should then enact after I am dead and gone. Then, my lord, 145. When your lordships, my lord, reverse Kaushal, last 4 lines, my lord, of 145. The rights are not so called, but are real rights founded on sound constitutional doctrine. They inhere in the right to life. Again, 21. They dwell in privacy and dignity. Now a part of 21, my lord. They constitute the essence of liberty and freedom. Sexual orientation is an essential component of identity. Equal protection demands protection of identity. So real rights, that people should not look at me with disdain. People should not say you are queer. People should not say let's not be friends with you. Then, my lord, that is Kaushal. My lord, 146. The decision in Kaushal presents a de minimis rationale when it asserts that they have only 200 prosecutions. This is an argument of minuscule against the majority. Kaushal went on this, my lord. Very small people, very small group. How does it matter? Why should it bother? The de minimis hypothesis is misplaced because the invasion of a fundamental right is not rendered tolerable when few are opposed to large number of people. This is the minority versus the majoritarian rule. No steamrolling. No steamrolling of ideas, faiths of one major group over, my lord, a small. Otherwise, my lord, look at religion. It will lead to religious persecutions. Suppose in a country, my lord, the majority is of one religion and you have small other religions. If you go by majority, you will steamroll the other religions. The moment you do that, you lose being secular. You lose, my lord, being plural. So our constitution has guarded against it. Be diverse, yet be Indian. Be whatever religion you have, but you are an Indian. Whatever faith you profess, whatever language you speak, no matter your card or your creed or your caste or your place of birth, the constitution intends to raise all this, my lord, from the times of 1800s and the deprived to today to be a forward-looking, my lord, community. Then, my lord, in para 147, your lordship leave the issue of my lord, naftage. Now, my lord, kindly come straight to page 558. Para starts, my lord, at 294. Then, my lord, it talks about, my lord, violation of law, fundamental rights. See, my lord, 297. Essential nature of privacy. Essential nature of privacy. Second line of that para.
Just one
Yes.
second.
The ability.
One second.
120.
295.
.559 at the foot is para 297. Yes. Below second line, placidum G. The concept is founded on the autonomy of the individual. The ability of an individual to make choices lies at the core of human personality. Choice, notion of privacy enables the individual to assert and control the human element, which is inseparable from personality of the individual. The inviolable nature of human personality is manifested in the ability to make decisions on matters intimate to human life. These words echo today. Choice, my lord, of human lives, choice of people. It's not, my lord, an elitist concept. It is, my lord, innate, with which people are born. So was Nero born, and thousands of years ago. Autonomy of the individual is
Let's not
associated
model
over
ourselves
matter.
on Nero.
Sorry, my lord.
Let's not model ourselves. I'm sure.
Last thing.
Your Lordship, right, my lord. Your Lordship, perfectly
Last
right.
thing
We can't model ourselves on Nero.
of all the
Who said this? When Rome is...
There are enough examples in
He was saying that
We
when
can't-
Rome was burning.
I
Lord.
say we can't fiddle.
Yeah. Yeah. Then, my lord, between placidum A and B at page 560 of the report, without the ability to make choices, the inviolability of the personality will be in doubt. One line later. Privacy is a postulate of human dignity. Thoughts and behavioral patterns which are intimate to individuals entitled to a zone of privacy where one is free of societal expectations. In that zone, an individual is not judged by others. Privacy enables each individual to take crucial decisions which find expression in human personality. It enables individuals to preserve their belief, thought, expression, ideology, preferences, choices against, please mark, my lord, very critical, against societal demands of homogeneity. So no steamrolling. Privacy is an intrinsic recognition of heterogeneity or the right of the individual to be different and to stand against the tide of conformity in creating a zone of solitude. Privacy protects the individual from the searching glare of publicity in matters which are personal. Privacy attaches the person not to the place where it is. Privacy constitutes foundation of all liberty because in privacy, an individual can decide how liberty is best exercised, etc., etc. So this is the tide of the majority which is stigmatizing me, my lord. Today it can't criminalize me because of a lordship judgment. It can't criminalize me like Mr. Thomas was criminalized, my lord, in America. When the police came and knocked on the door, it was a police raid. They found, my lord, he was indulging in that act. And he was charged by University of that law of Texas. I can't be criminalized, but the stigmatization continues. My lord, last 10 lines of that page in para 298. The autonomy of the individual is the ability to make decisions on vital matters of concern to life. Privacy has not been couched as an independent fundamental right, but that does not detract from the constitutional protection afforded to it. Once the true nature of privacy in relation with those fundamental rights which are expressly protected and understood. Privacy lies across the spectrum. The guarantee of equality is the guarantee against arbitrary action. It prevents the state from discriminating between individuals. The destruction by the state of a sanctified personal space, whether the body or mind, violated the guarantee against arbitrary action. Previously, the body entices the individual to the integrity of the physical aspects of it. The intersection between one's mental and integrity and privacy entitled the individual to freedom of thought, freedom to believe in what is right, what is wrong, etc., etc. My lord, just between placidums B and C, the freedom under 19 can be fulfilled where the individual is entitled to decide upon his or her preferences. Read in conjunction with 21, liberty enables the individual to have a choice of preferences, etc., etc. Sorry, Milord, I missed one line. See the third line on top. Family, marriage, procreation, and sexual orientation are a part of dignity, and dignity is a part of 21. So what I am requesting your lordship to grant me a declaration is a declaration of my right under 21. That's what I am respectfully submitting. And procreation in, my lord, today's scenario can also include adoption, IVF, surrogacy. Need not only be procreation in one form.
I think